So let's do some more awards. What do you think, right? The presentation of the Green and Gold Award honors a team, group, or organization that has brought respect and honor to Holy Cross because of their accomplishments while in high school. This year, we are excited to welcome back an undefeated team that some say are the best collection of athletes in the league's history. The 1975 Spring Track and Field team. The team was comprised of team, city, and valley record holders in their respective events, coached by Brother James Kane and John Dombrowski. Many of these athletes are now successful working men, brothers, fathers, uncles, but to us they will always be that special team admired by so many. To help us celebrate in their accomplishments, please welcome Brother Kane and Coach John Dombrowski to the stage.
Well, it's just like a sports banquet. The track team always was last. Keep a tradition going. And I'd like to thank the school community, but Mr. Jim Cunningham, who was the athletic director at the time when I arrived here in 1972, along with John, and he said, "You're the track coach and cross-country coach." And I said, "What?" So he had confidence in me. And I think this team grew up together. We learned from each other. We were blessed to be part of a group of very highly motivated young men who were worked together and took what we taught them to another level. They were a team full of leaders. They decided to achieve a goal, and they did it. And they did it without a track outside. It's like BC and AD, when we talk about centuries before Christ and after Christ. And this was the before track and not after track. So they just had a dirt circle on the field down below that we practiced and thought we were running 400s and 200s and so forth. No, they were 220s and 440s. So that team, in spite of that, the imagination and the determination and the leadership, which is the most important thing. And I think I'd like to thank Paul Savage, also a member of that team as a junior, who I believe was one of the people who recommended that this team be honored. And Paul, to reflect back on him, is the first athlete in this school history to win an individual state open championship. And he did that in the shot put in 1975. I'd like to give John Dombrowski a little time here. He helped me out so much, and beyond finding directions and remembering what people's times were when they came across the line. He was absolutely invaluable to me as an assistant coach, or a co-coach. John.
Thank you, brother. This is actually a culmination, I think, of 3 years' worth of effort. Torrington High School is always our nemesis, and I remember the first year we went and competed with them head-to-head, and they cleaned our clocks, more or less. The second year came down to, I think, the last event, and they beat us, and we lost by a couple of points. And then came 75, and we reversed the tables, and we cleaned their clock, and it's nothing sweeter than to be a team that felt like they owned you. As brother said, track and field is it's a culmination of a lot of individual events. And and it requires a lot of self-discipline and a lot of hard work and a lot of motivation, internal drive. I mean, coaches can push you as much as they want, but you've got to have it within yourselves, and this team certainly demonstrated that day in and day out. And not only that, but the camaraderie that they had among each other. It wasn't just distance runners or field events or sprinters. They enjoyed each other's company. And, you know, this team is certainly, well deserving of this award. And lastly, it's no accident that the success of track and field cross country here in Waterbury began in 1972-73, which coincided with the arrival of Pro James Kane as the head track coach, because certainly he inspired these young men, and I think they learned a lot of what it means to work hard, to be a leader, because he was the living, breathing example of it. And so, you know, he and I are just honored to be here to see these men come back. I won't call them young men anymore because the age gap has gotten a lot closer coaching and athletes. But it's nice to see everybody come back and, you know, to relish this and to enjoy it. You know, it was such a pleasure for us to coach them, and that made it all the fun in the world. So, thank you.
Invite all members of the Holy Cross track team to come up. It's a whole legacy. Also, news committee, Coach Brian Walker and his team. Thank you very much. And may there be a presentation one day for the girls cross country team, which we coached 49 years ago. So by 50 years there, that group should, I think, have some recognition for what they've done.
Thank you very much.